Hello YouTube, this is Ready Set Exploit, and we're going to be doing Island Orchestration, which is a TryHackMe room that has a web server that is vulnerable to a local file inclusion. And we use this to find out that the service is on a Docker container and is being managed by the Minikube service. We find the token using the local file inclusion that allows us to get the cluster namespace information, and we see that we can list the cluster secrets and we get our flag. So it seems pretty straightforward, but it really comes down to doing the proper searches and understanding how the Kubernetes Minikube services work and how we can get the information that we need. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an Nmap scan, and on the page it does mention that it does take a little bit of time to run. So I would say give it 5 to 10 minutes before you do any Nmap scan, so you don't miss any ports. So sudo nmap-v min rate 10,000 for a quick scan, and the IP address -p- to look at all ports, and we just want any open ports. The grep open is not necessary. I just like to do it because it minimizes the output. And we have 3 ports open. And now we can do a more detailed scan. -sv to enumerate version -sc to run default script -on to save it to a file called nmap.txt, and we're going to run the IP address and -p so that we can list all the ports we want, and it's going to start the scan. Now off the bat, if you're familiar with some of these ports, port 22 is running SSH. We have port 80 running HTTP, which is just a web server, and we have 8443, kind of tells you the quick scan, tells you HTTPS. And this should finish relatively quick. I know 8443, if Nmap doesn't recognize it, throws some default GET requests, so it could take a bit longer. So while it does that, we probably can't do much with, not probably, but we definitely can't do much with SSH. So we're going to go ahead and check out the web page from port 80 and 8443. So do this, and actually, sorry, let me make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So you can see the command here at the top again, and the command over here in case you missed it. And once we go on the web page, we see we're greeted with this page that says Best Tropical Island, and mentions the 5 islands on the right hand side. So if we click on the links, we see that it just displays the parameter page and then the PHP page. Look at the source, and right here it tells us where it is, class Best Tropical Island. So it looks like it's just reading page, I believe, right over here as the image, and those are the links. So whenever I see, doesn't necessarily have to be page, but whenever I see a page is loading from a parameter, we always want to try local file inclusions. If you're not familiar with the attacks, you could do local file inclusion, Hacktricks, or just Google any kind of local file inclusions. There's a lot of standard ones. This page has a lot of them. How to find it using wfuzz, but the standard one for Linux is this one right here. So you could just copy, paste, and see if we get something different, and we get the etc passwd file, which loads actually on the car body. Let's see if that's correct. So car body, so that's exactly where it loaded. And if we look at the source, it just looks a little bit better, a little bit of a space here. If it doesn't work the first time, you can just keep adding lines, because it just could be like, that means you just have to go back a few more directories. You can try different payloads as you go through, right? But in this case, a simple local file inclusion or LFI attack works. So we can keep enumerating and to see what else we find. Before we continue, let's also check out page, Nmap finished. Let's review this really quick. So we already knew port 22. So let's close it and run it again. Port 22 is OpenSSH. We knew that. Ubuntu. Port 80, running Apache. We knew, sort of figured that out on our own. 8443 doesn't tell us much. It does gives us a hint that it's running Kubernetes, right? Which is a service that helps you manage Docker containers. And Nmap tries to do a couple different things to get more information, but the main thing is that we don't have access to any directories, right? It tells us forbidden, forget requests. It does give us Minikube here, so that's a hint of what we Minikube CA of what the service is running, but we can check that out as well, see what we see. Let's see, so if we go, well, that's not what I meant to do. So 8443 tells us that this is an HTTPS server. So if we change it to HTTPS, you'll get this certificate warning, just accept it, and we see we get a forbidden message. Can't do much here. But thanks to Nmap, we know that it is running some type of Kubernetes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can enumerate the file system here. And whenever it comes to file inclusion, especially when I don't want to do it manually, you can use burp as well. And especially if you have the community edition, it might be a bit slow. If you have the pro edition, you could just use a wordless and get over it really quick. Whenever I'm dealing with local file inclusions, I like to kind of create my own script, which is why I like this room, because if you're new to scripting, there's a good chance to get some practice in. So I'm going to import requests, import RE, and I'm actually going to use a file, and I'm going to call my file lfi.text. There's a comma there. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop through it. So for each file in F, right? I like good variables file, so that way it's easier to follow. So my URL, right? And this is, copy this. But I'm going to erase that. And there you go. Actually, it doesn't hurt to have it. Plus each file. So each file in the file inside the file, or each file in the file. That'll make sense once I get the file over. Maybe we could do each name. Yeah, that way it's just not too redundant or confusing. Each name. Strip means I'm gonna remove any extra spaces so that we don't have any line breaks. Then we're gonna do I don't know, get page, and we're gonna do request get URL. Right now, another thing. So what a local file inclusion pill am I going to do? So if you Google seclist LFI, there's this one right here. It's not this one, but if we go back to the LFI directory, we have this Graceful Security Linux one. This is a good one. You could just copy it from here. I already have it in my system because I have the whole repo. What we're going to do is I'm just going to copy it, seclist, and I'm just going to copy here, call it lfi.text. And if we, for example, I'm going to call this one test.text. So let's see, do etc pass wd. This is just for testing. Stop being lazy. There you go. The way you kind of see how the script is coming together. So we're going to request that URL, and then we're going to print. So we're going to print each name. Then I want a line break because I want to print the file name each time. And then we're going to print the get page.text. So we're just going to print the actual page. So if we run it, see, we get the web page, and there's our LFI. And what I want is I want to get everything between card body here and this dash div, right? This section, because I don't want to have to scroll. That's the point of this script. But how can I tell the difference? So with this particular tag, if we search something like that, it tells us it doesn't exist, right? If we search something that does exist, but let's say we can't particularly read it, it's just blank, like Etsy shadow. So while it loops through, if does not exist in get page.text, we're just going to continue through the loop, and else we're going to do, otherwise we print each name and get the text, right? So that's another way. So let's do Etsy, there you go. So if we run this, see, it only prints this one page, skip through the other one. So I still want to grab what I need, right? Maybe I should have that handy. So this is when our RE comes in handy. So we're going to need this. And so now, so I have that, each name. So now we're going to do, don't need this. I want to comment it out. There you go. So I'm going to do variable called search. It's going to be our search. We're going to do RE compile. And our div class, so it's going to be everything in between this section, and this is the wildcard we'll use. So everything in between that, and then re.do the all. And then we're going to do the output text, search.search, r.text, not r, where is it? Each name dot text, group 1, and we're going to just print output text, and this should work, I hope. So now we're gonna run it, and RE, no, actually RE. Let's see, what did I miss? Oh, right here, nice little typo here. Text, each name dot text. Well, there we go. There's another typo right here. It should be get page dot text. There we go. I don't like the space though, so I'm going to strip that. And there we go. That's not bad. And now we can do another line break. And there we go. That's nice. That's a nice little way. So the reason why I'm doing this, because I do this every time. I try to do this depending on the application. I try to do this every time I have some kind of LFI attack, right? Because it just makes it easy to enumerate, especially files that are just common. So we, probably don't need this. And the reason why is because if you notice here, there's no users. There's nobody with a home directory. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these. But I do want to read everything else. So now I got to modify it. And as you see, the script isn't complicated. I could put it into a function to make it more cleaner and Pythonian, but it's not complex. I'm just going to leave it as is, and it works. And there we go. See, shadow was empty, and now we can start reading, start dumping all these files. Abstract, first half for base system. And this is how you can start enumerating the file system. You know, maybe get an idea how it's working. So we have the Apache configuration file, and I could put more lines in between each file name so it's just easier to see. So this one, it finds it, can read it, so that way we kind of know where it is. So another thing is, if we look at the host file, this is a Kubernetes. It tells us it's running Kubernetes. That's us. Ubuntu, the distribution, message of the day. So and this is how you kind of can understand what's going on behind the scenes and get an idea. It does tend to repeat some files, profile, name server, you know, so it's a lot of stuff running here. CPU information, memory information. So you could get a lot of information from doing a script like this. And also Docker containers like to run on this address space. Right? See, look, so I have a lot of this information here that just kind of fell. Ooh. Log information, but what can we do, right? Another way we can confirm that we're in a Docker environment is if we do that at the very root of each Docker container, there's a file called docker.env. And this, as you see, is blank. That means it does exist. And it's always a blank file, and we just can't read it, right? At least I'm pretty sure it's always a blank file. But either way, it does exist. Like I said, if I do whatever else, it tells me it doesn't exist. So we know we're in a Docker container. So whenever I'm dealing with Docker containers or Kubernetes, I turn to Hacktricks again. Kubernetes, Hacktricks. To do let's do Kubernetes Hacktricks, and we start off with Kubernetes security, and there's basics. I like to go to pen testing Kubernetes first, and then Kubernetes enumeration. Right. So starting here, I like this page because it gives you a list of ports, and it can tell you which one's running which. And we have a match for ours. 8443 is running Minikube API, right? And it does give you some tags. You could use curl, or you could use kubectl, which I believe it mentions here somewhere. That's kubelet. Let's see, where are you here? It's not here, but now that we know what is running, I like this list here a lot. Kubelet. Kube API server. So we have 8443. This is insecure. It's interesting. Anyway, so enumerating mentions tokens. If you have compromised access to a machine, right, the tokens usually located here. There's also configuration files with tokens, so we can connect to the API server. Because right now we don't have access, right? Service account tokens. So there's this link here if you want to read what is the service in Kubernetes, so how to create a pod. If you don't specify service accounts, automatically assign the default service account in the same namespace. So we're looking to see if this page and that 8443 have the same default service account in the same namespace, right? So it's a JWT web token, right? And it tells you it's in one of these directories. So we can just add this to our, and it's done. And what I'm going to do is modify the text. I'm going to delete everything. Just going to add that. And that just makes it easier. This is a directory. What files are we looking for? We're looking for these. ca.crt token, right? And namespace. So what we're gonna do is ca.crt, actually do token ca.crt namespace. There we go. So default namespace, and that checks out here, right? The default service icon in the same namespace. And we have the CACRT. This is used to connect to the API. It is not usually required. You may need it every now and then. When I was first doing this room, I thought I needed it. I wasn't getting a connection, and I found another way around it. And here's the token. This is what ultimately gives us access. So we find it. And now, if you keep scrolling through, it tells you how you can use it. You can see CACRT is optional. Otherwise, we could use this command: insecure skip TLS verify with kubectl or -k with curl. And if we keep scrolling down, it tells us how to use kubectl. You could just install kubectl. I think it's just on the apt-get install kubectl. You can use curl. I'm going to use kubectl just because it's easier. And it tells us right here how to use it. It assigns it to a variable k. So if you keep going down, you see here it says kubectl, but if we keep going down, it tells us k, which is just this command, right? I'm going to do the whole command just because that way it's just easier to see. So we're going to do kubectl, it does token, verify.true. So let's copy all of this. Let's see if I have it saved on my history already. So now we're going to do, actually, let's copy all this. I'm going to do bi token, and we're going to save it. We don't need to save these two, but just wanted to share that. And then we're going to do copy this. Let's minimize this. And there we go. You see I have it installed. It's in green. And we need token. We're going to do that. So I'm going to save it to a variable, cat token. So the token variable is going to be saved. It's going to read off my file. Server is the API server, which is just the address. Yes, S. Forgot the IP. 10.10.5.253. 10.10.5.253. 8443. Insecure skip TLS verify through. True. And let's see, it gave me an error. Now we can start enumerating. So let's say we could try getting users, right? But I always like to start with get our current privileges. So what can I do, right? Get privileges in general. Can I list? Cannot be placed before plugin name. Oh, okay. So it just doesn't like how I did this. So let's turn it around. Oh, wait. I forgot that word. Off. Authentication, can I list? There we go. And call this cube. So authentication, what can I do? I can create resources, but the main thing that stands out is secrets. We can list secrets. So if we keep scrolling down, it tells us how to get secrets. We just do, this is output YAML file. We could just do get secrets. So if we do get secrets, we have the default token. This is the CACRT, and that's the flag. If we do describe secrets, see, we have this already. It doesn't give us the flag, right? But it does give us the token we already have. So what do? How do we list secrets? We just Google kubectl extract secrets, and there's a bunch of posts. There's so many posts that there's this one. I like this one. How to create, use, and access secrets. Just because it goes into a lot of detail, but if we keep scrolling down, it's here. So get secrets, we did that command. Apply, and right here. So get secret, secret name, we know that it's flag, then -o, JSON path, then the data, right? And it tells us it's going to be base64 encoded. We just have to decode it. Then that's pretty trivial, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Copy that. We're going to go back up. We know it's called flag. I'm going to do get secrets flag. Clear flag, right? Is it secrets or secret? Yeah, singular. Secret flag, and just paste that. And there we go. So it is base64 encoded. Now if you have JQ, still that pretty simple. It gives us very nice format. You can do with JQ or JSON, you could do that, then the name of the variable you want. There's a lot more to it, but it's pretty simple. The flag. Let's see. I think I messed something up there. Data flag. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. And because then it does the base64 decode. So let's see. Data flag. Okay. It just doesn't like it when I do it through JQ for some reason. Anyway. Oh wait. I think do I have to do this? No. Doesn't matter. So there we go. So and then you could just base64 decode it. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't want any spoilers. If you, what we're gonna do is maybe I'll copy half of it. I'm gonna do echo base64 decode, and you see the flag starts outputting before it says base64 invalid input. So you can see that's part of our flag. So if you just do the rest, you get the flag, and that'll complete the challenge. So this was a fun challenge. Like I said, really had a fun time scripting the LFI Python script to kind of get the files enumerated before I was able to tie 2 and 2 together and realize that I could just list the token from Kubernetes, and that was because I saw that the port was running on 8443. Sometimes being able to tie things together and searching how to interact with the API is always a good valuable skill, because you will see that often in CTFs, rooms, and just pen tests in general. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you all next time.